Let's have a look on the base radial menu widget. Nothing fancy here. This is something I don't really use in my project blueprint implementable, but I left it for the blueprint guys. Play custom animation. We'll have to be careful with this one when swapping the class parents, the blueprint parents, then things get messed up. Here we have a native event. It has to be overridden in the blueprints. So if I mark something as override, then it has to be here. And we are like using this because it's so easy to switch on string in a blueprint than to struggle in C++. So yeah, little tricks here and there. This is that BI event that I left you. Blueprint guys, you can like use it for whatever you want. Important thing for anyone not familiar with super. If you are not familiar with super is basically a call to one class above. So to a parent class, or whatever code happens before it hits here, I'm calling a super. It's very important. If you forget about the supers, you're gonna spend hours of debugging for nothing. The blueprint equivalent of a super is when you right click and add call to parent function. All I'm gonna say about it, get in the habit of doing it always, okay? From now on, you will always call a super. You can thank me later. Okay, let's come to the interesting stuff to see how this widget was done. I have just a main overlay here. I have added another overlay that's theoretically could be done without that, and I added another 4-5 overlays just to keep my sanity levels when working with it. The important thing to note here is these borders, how far are they from the edge of the screen. I'm not using canvas, it's not my style, I don't need it, it's too much of a performance hit for no reason, and I prefer to work with size boxes. So as you see, if you work with some weird screen resolutions, it will push this box downwards because it's hitting that edge that I just showed you. If you are unhappy with the look of the radial menu, I suggest you first copy, make a number 5 for example, and then you slowly change the look of it. First of all, I want to highlight that I like to use the dark one, but in the texture sets I have included the 4 main themes as a circle. So let's say that I want to change this menu to something else. In this case, if it's not dark, the problem will be here with the cutouts. You're gonna have to play a little bit more with the cutouts, and I feel the black theme is the best. I have included also the emissive parts. So for example, you can play with these, and tint it to whatever you like. If that's something you like, you can animate it, whatever. It's there in case you want it. Then basically you follow the texture sets, because if we are now on texture set 03, then you just fill in everything with a texture set 03. If you want to change these blue things, then you just find everything ending with an E. You select a new color. Let's say you want it purple. Okay, and then just right click, copy, and everywhere where it's ending with an E, image ending with E, you just paste it. Same thing for the BE2s. So wherever is E2, you can go to image E2 and select your tint and then copy the same to all E2 endings. I'm sure you guys will figure it out. If you make your new entire custom texture sets and you might need little adjustments in the size boxes, overrides, and the paddings. That's how you will control it. I hope this explains the widget. Okay, let's talk about the exciting stuff on how this widget works to highlight just an alpha pixel when hovered. I have put some description here in the C++. You will also have it in the video for the blueprint guys. This class can return bool value if alpha pixel is hovered by storing buffer data about all pixels from texture. This is a custom code written. In order for this to work, UTexture2D must have following settings. You can experiment. I just put the settings here that I have in my own project, and everything works, so be my guest to experiment. So when you come to textures, there is a separate subfolder called APS widgets. That's because all of these widgets, they have different settings, slightly different settings. So you see, it's vector displacement map. You just open up that C++ file. You can open it with even with a notepad. Yeah, you can click on in the source files public, and you can open it up with a notepad. You just go one by one. You can copy this, Ctrl C, then go here and you type Ctrl V, and that option will pop up. And most likely when you are doing a whole texture set, you want to Ctrl A, right click, asset actions, edit selection in property matrix. Yeah, they changed the name, that's why I can't see it. So here you just paste that thing and you select. Yeah, so as you can see, for some reason I have no mip maps. And then you save all, and you do every single setting. You check what's listed here. That's the first step. The way this widget is done is by another widget here, which is called in this case W frame equip B. In this widget on the B one, I just want to show you, for blueprint guys, you can override, for example, on a mouse button, double click what you want to do. Let's say that I want to change the state of the frame on select. So I'm doing this just for the bottom one. When I highlight and double click, it will change. When I move out, it will change back. I made an override to native on mouse leave. I just set the new frame state to default. You have to understand that I just copied paste this code from my big project where I run so many more checks and so many more booleans in order for everything to work. But I'm giving you the meat, the one that I was really struggling with, and that's this function, is alpha pixel hovered, and it returns a boolean, true or false. And with this boolean, true or false, you can create your own logic. So for example, here in blueprints, yes, is alpha pixel hovered. So if it's true, I want to do one thing. If it's false, I want to do other thing. How can you keep it in a selected frame state? One of the options how to control is to create the visibility, because if it's non-hit testable, if this stuff in this widget is non-hit testable, then nothing will happen. Yeah, if you accidentally leave a border here on a visible, it will, whole square, massive square, will block the mouse cursor from working. So be careful with those, visible and non-hit testable. That's an important thing. That's one way to control, but it can be a bit tricky. The other way to control is by creating your own booleans. So when you change one state, you create a boolean, or you use a boolean to control, okay, I want this logic to work now, and now I want this logic to stop. Another way to control it is to override a function. So for example, on mouse leave, and you add call to the parent. Well, you can do whatever for base APS widget, and it will list you all the functions available. This tried update road colors, you shouldn't really mess with this stuff from blueprints. I just kind of like to expose it to blueprint, because if you know what you are doing, it might be handy for some quick debug. Get APS frame state. Yes, you can always switch on this one and, you know, do your logic from there. You will have to get your hands dirty to make it look good, and to make it work, you can't expect me to do it for you, okay? Because it's a very complex thing to do, and I guess that's the reason why Unreal doesn't want to support it, because yeah, there are so many things that can go wrong with it.